Welcome back to our channel. In this video, we reveal some of the most valuable coins in the world, coins that collectors and investors are willing to pay thousands or even millions for. Imagine for a moment that a single cent, a piece of metal most people would step over on a sidewalk, held the literal key to a life of absolute financial freedom. We are not talking about pocket change or a lucky find at a garage sale. We are uncovering a legendary anomaly that has sent shockwaves through the highest echelons of the numismatic world. The 1979 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is not just a coin. It is a ghost in the machine of the United States Mint, a structural defiance of logic that currently commands a staggering market value of $2 million. For those who understand that true wealth is often hidden in plain sight, this is the ultimate treasure hunt, and the window to claim your stake in this high-stakes legacy is closing faster than you think. What if I told you that the very penny sitting in your kitchen junk drawer right now could be the reason you never have to check a price tag again? Most people walk through life blind to the fortunes passing through their hands, but you are different because you recognize that authority and knowledge are the ultimate currency. The 1979 error we are discussing today represents a Tier 1 rarity, a mistake so profound that it should never have survived the quality control of the Philadelphia Mint. As we peel back the layers of this $2 million mystery, you will realize that the difference between a common laborer and a titan of industry often comes down to who was paying attention when the opportunity of a lifetime rolled across the table. Why settle for a modest retirement when a single copper strike could fund a multi-generational empire? We begin our journey in the late 70s, an era of transition and industrial might, where the Philadelphia Mint was churning out billions of coins with a standard of excellence that rarely wavered. Under normal circumstances, the absence of a mint mark on a 1979 penny simply indicates its origin in Philadelphia. But this specific error is a different beast entirely, involving a catastrophic die failure that resulted in a unique no mint mark strike on a planchet it was never intended for. This isn't just a missing letter. It is a mechanical miracle. Think of it as a fingerprint from a ghost, a mark of exclusivity that separates the wealthy collector from the casual observer. Have you ever felt that sudden jolt of electricity when you realize you're standing on the verge of a massive breakthrough? Or is that just the caffeine finally hitting your system after a long night of coin hunting? The technical brilliance of this 1979 error lies in its pristine preservation and the specific metallurgical hiccup that occurred during the striking process. While millions of ordinary pennies were being tossed into fountains, this specific specimen was being forged in a moment of perfection that the mint can never replicate. Demand for this coin has reached a fever pitch, with international investors and private hedge funds looking to park their capital in tangible assets that outpace the stock market. You can almost feel the weight of that $2 million valuation, a heavy, solid reassurance of what is possible when rarity meets historical significance. The urgency cannot be overstated. As more collectors realize the true scarcity of this 1979 error, the competition to acquire one is turning into a digital gold rush. If you aren't looking for it today, someone else is already drafting the contract to sell it tomorrow. Let's take a breath for a second and ask ourselves a serious question. If you suddenly found $2 million in your pocket, would you buy that beach house in Malibu first? Or would you finally get that vintage car you've been eyeing since you were 20? The beauty of the 1979 no mint mark error is that it offers the kind of exit strategy most people only dream of. We see a massive influx of interest from the 30 to 65 demographic, individuals who are tired of the status quo and are ready to claim the wealthy lifestyle they have rightfully earned. This coin is the vehicle for that transformation. It represents a shift from the mundane to the extraordinary, proving that a single moment of luck, backed by the authority of expert knowledge, can rewrite your entire financial future in an instant. As we move toward the pinnacle of our discovery, it is vital to understand the prophecy of the 1979 strike. Expert analysts suggest that the current $2 million valuation is merely the floor, as the global demand for rare U.S. coinage continues to skyrocket among the world's elite. This is a highly liquid asset in the world of high-end auctions, where the hammer falls and lives change forever in a matter of seconds. The fear of missing out is a powerful motivator, but the excitement of discovery is what keeps the great hunters moving forward. You aren't just looking for a coin. You are looking for the physical manifestation of success. Every 1979 penny you examine is a potential ticket to a world where your time is finally your own and your legacy is set in stone, or in this case, in high-grade copper. The connection between these points is clear: the history of the mint, the technical anomaly of the strike, and the explosive market demand all converge at this very moment. To hold a coin worth $2 million is to hold a piece of the American dream that has been refined and distilled into a 1-cent piece. This is the pinnacle of numismatic achievement, a beacon for those who refuse to settle for anything less than the best. The market is hungry, the prices are peaking, and the authority of the 1979 no-mint mark error is undisputed. It is time to stop wondering what if and start confirming what is already in your possession. Your path to a wealthy, sophisticated lifestyle doesn't require a lottery ticket. It requires an eagle eye and the courage to act when the data points toward a fortune. The 1979 Lincoln penny error is the gold standard of modern collecting, a silent titan waiting to be claimed by someone with the vision to see its true worth. As you go forth and audit your own collection, remember that greatness is rarely handed out, but it is often found by those who know exactly what they are looking for. The hunt for the $2 million penny is the ultimate high-stakes game, and the only question left is whether you are ready to take your seat at the winner's table. Fortune favors the bold, the informed, and the persistent, so let the search begin today. Imagine for a moment that the small, copper-colored disc resting at the bottom of your cup holder isn't just loose change, but a ticket to a life of absolute financial freedom. Most people look at a 1979 Denver minted penny and see a relic of a bygone era, a simple tool for commerce that has long since lost its luster. But for those with the eyes to see and the wisdom to act, this specific year and mint mark represent one of the most aggressive opportunities in the history of American numismatics. There is a palpable sense of urgency in the market right now because the 1979 Lincoln cent, under the right conditions of a rare minting error, has transcended its face value to reach a staggering market valuation of $4 million. This is not merely a hobby. It is a high-stakes hunt for a treasure that could allow you to trade the daily grind for a lifestyle of elegance, travel, and generational wealth. Why is the world suddenly waking up to the power of the 1979 penny? It is because the window for discovery is narrowing, and the demand from elite collectors has never been more voracious. You might be wondering if you've already spent your fortune on a pack of gum or left it in a laundromat coin slot 10 years ago. It's a terrifying thought, isn't it? The idea that millions of dollars could have slipped through your fingers simply because you weren't looking for the right signs. But let's pause for a second. Have you actually looked at your change today? Or are you too busy wondering if that clinking sound in your dryer is a new appliance or a new Ferrari? The excitement lies in the fact that these coins are still out there, tucked away in jars, attics, and old coat pockets across the United States. We are talking about a specific error so profound and so rare that it commands the kind of authority usually reserved for fine art or beachfront real estate. The demand is at an all-time high, and the collectors who hold the keys to the $4 million prize are waiting for one thing: for someone like you to realize exactly what you are holding. The 1979 Lincoln cent was produced during a transition in American history, but the error we are discussing is a masterpiece of industrial accident. To understand why this coin is worth a king's ransom, we must look at the sophisticated mechanics of the Denver Mint during that specific year. We are searching for a convergence of perfection and anomaly, a strike so clean and an error so distinct that it defies the laws of mass production. When a coin reaches a $4 million valuation, it is because it possesses a prophecy of value. It is a physical manifestation of rarity that cannot be replicated. This error involves a complex structural doubling and a unique metallic composition that sets it apart from the millions of ordinary pennies struck that year. The authoritative beauty of this coin is undeniable, gleaming with a luster that suggests it was never meant for the hands of the public, but rather for the vaults of the wealthy. Does the idea of a penny being worth more than a mansion seem crazy to you? Or are you already mentally picking out the color of your private jet's leather interior? The reality of the market is that rarity dictates price, and the 1979 error is currently the most hunted prize in the country. This isn't about old money, it's about smart money. As we connect the dots between the minting process and the current market explosion, we see a pattern of extreme desirability. Every sophisticated investor knows that when supply is effectively zero and demand is infinite, the price trajectory only moves in one direction: up. This coin represents the pinnacle of American heritage, a small piece of history that carries the weight of a fortune. You must approach your collection with the mindset of a curator, recognizing that the difference between a common cent and a $4 million treasure is often found in the smallest, most sophisticated details that others are too hurried to notice. The final act of this journey is about the transition from the person you are to the person you are destined to become. The current market value of $4 million for the 1979 D error cent is a clear signal that the time to act is now. There is a profound sense of excitement as more people realize that the keys to a wealthy lifestyle are hidden in plain sight. This is your moment to step into a position of authority and claim what is yours. The demand for these coins among the elite is so high that the transaction process has become an event of prestige and celebration. When you find this coin, you aren't just selling a piece of metal. You are participating in a high-level exchange of value that elevates your status and secures your future. This is the positive outcome we all strive for, the moment where preparation meets opportunity in a spectacular display of financial success. As we reach the conclusion of this exploration, remember that the wealth you seek is often closer than you think, but it requires a keen eye and a sophisticated approach to claim it. If you found a $4 million penny today, would you tell your boss you're quitting? Or would you just send them a picture of you on a yacht with a very expensive cup of coffee? The journey of the 1979 D penny teaches us that greatness is often disguised as the mundane. By staying informed, staying urgent, and respecting the incredible value of these rare mint errors, you position yourself at the forefront of a movement that celebrates wealth, history, and the thrill of the find. The market is ready, the collectors are waiting, and the $4 million prize is out there. It is time to stop searching for change and start searching for your legacy, ensuring that your name is etched among those who turned a simple penny into a lifetime of luxury. Imagine for a moment that a life-changing fortune is sitting in the dark corner of your kitchen drawer, or at the very bottom of a dusty jar of loose change you've ignored for a decade. While most people see a simple copper-colored disc from 1978 as a mere fraction of a cent, the elite world of numismatics knows a different truth. There exists a legendary specimen of the 1978 Lincoln penny that defies the laws of the United States Mint, a coin so rare and so perfect that its current market value has soared to a staggering $1 million. This is not just a penny. It is a golden ticket to a lifestyle of absolute freedom and prestige. If you are holding one of these, you aren't just holding history, you are holding the keys to a brand new life. But why is the world suddenly obsessed with this specific year? And more importantly, do you have the courage to look closely enough to find it before someone else claims the prize? The year 1978 was a time of massive production, with billions of pennies struck at Philadelphia and Denver. However, a terrifyingly small number of these coins escaped the mint, with a no-mint mark designation under circumstances that make collectors' hearts stop. Now, before you start wondering if your eyes are playing tricks on you, let's address the elephant in the room. Yes, most 1978 pennies without a mark are common Philadelphia strikes. But the million-dollar rarity we are discussing today is a strike of such immense quality and specific era profile that it has become the ultimate holy grail for the American elite. Are you ready to stop being a spectator in the game of wealth and start being a player? The urgency cannot be overstated, as the demand for high-grade 1978 errors is currently at an all-time fever pitch, with private auctions seeing aggressive bidding wars that make Wall Street look like a playground. To understand why this coin commands the price of a luxury estate, we must look at the sophisticated science of the strike. The $1 million 1978 no-mint mark error represents a pinnacle of numismatic perfection, often involving a proof-like finish on a business strike coin or a rare transitional alloy error that shouldn't exist. When you hold this coin, you feel the weight of authority. The fields are deep and mirror-like, and the silhouette of Abraham Lincoln stands out with a sharp, sculptural relief that seems almost three-dimensional. This is the kind of asset that doesn't just hold value. It commands respect in every high-end auction house from New York to Geneva. It's funny, isn't it? We spend our lives working for paper money, yet a tiny piece of metal from the 70s could retire you tomorrow. Have you checked your jars yet? Or are you waiting for the neighbor to find it first? The excitement surrounding this coin stems from its scarcity. While the general public is distracted by modern trends, the sophisticated investor knows that tangible, rare assets like the 1978 $1 million penny are the ultimate hedge for a wealthy lifestyle. This coin is in high demand because it represents an error of omission, a moment where the perfection of the U.S. Mint faltered, creating a masterpiece. We are talking about a coin that has survived decades in pristine condition, waiting for someone with a discerning eye to recognize its true worth. The market is currently starving for these high-tier specimens. Every day that passes without one surfacing only drives the price higher, creating a vacuum that only the luckiest and most observant individual can fill. Can you imagine the look on a professional appraiser's face when you slide this across the velvet table? As we move into the final phase of this discovery, the connection between your current reality and $1 million payday becomes clear. This is the moment where fear of missing out must transform into the excitement of action. The 1978 no-mint mark penny is a beacon for those who refuse to settle for the ordinary. To secure your wealthy lifestyle, you must treat your search with the authority it deserves. This isn't just about finding a coin. It's about identifying a masterpiece that the world's wealthiest collectors are dying to own. The demand is documented, the valuation is set at the $1 million mark, and the only missing piece of the puzzle is the location of the next specimen. Could it truly be that simple? Could your path to a seven-figure bank account be sitting in your pocket right now? The journey from a humble 1978 penny to $1 million auction result is a path paved with precision and prestige. By focusing on the high-grade errors and the rare no-mint mark anomalies, you are positioning yourself among the elite. The current market climate is a golden era for sellers. There has never been a better time to capitalize on rare American numismatics. You have the knowledge, you have the authoritative edge, and now you have the inspiration to reclaim the hidden wealth that has been circulating right under our noses. This is your invitation to the high-stakes world of rare coin collecting. Don't let this 1978 treasure remain a ghost in the machine. Find it, authenticate it, and step into the lifestyle you were always meant to lead. The clock is ticking, the collectors are waiting, and the fortune is yours for the taking. Imagine for a moment that the small, copper-colored disc resting at the very bottom of your kitchen junk drawer isn't just loose change, but a silent key to a life of absolute financial freedom. We often walk through our days oblivious to the fact that history and massive wealth can be captured in the palm of a hand. Today, we are pulling back the curtain on a numismatic legend that has sent shockwaves through the collecting world, the 1975 D. Lincoln penny. While millions of these coins were struck in Denver, a select few possess a structural defiance, a mint error so profound and so rare that it has transcended the hobby to become a literal multimillion-dollar treasure. You might find yourself wondering if it is truly possible for a single cent to be worth $5 million, and the answer lies in the sheer rarity and the feverish demand from the world's most elite investors. The excitement surrounding this specific coin is not just about the copper. It is about the hunt for a ghost in the machine of the United States Mint. There is a palpable sense of urgency in the air right now because as more people become aware of these high-value errors, the window to find one in the wild is rapidly closing. Have you ever looked at a penny and thought it looked a bit off? Perhaps the mint mark was doubled, or the strike seemed unusually deep. That wandering eye of yours might just be your best financial asset. This isn't just a hobby for the curious. It is a high-stakes pursuit for those who recognize that wealth often hides in plain sight, waiting for someone with an authoritative eye to claim it. Now, before you go sprinting to your piggy bank and accidentally trip over the dog, let's talk about why this 1975 D error is currently the most hunted prize in America. We are talking about a market value that has soared to a staggering $5 million due to a perfect storm of scarcity and historical significance. The demand is at an all-time high, with billionaire collectors and private museums aggressively outbidding one another to own a piece of this copper prophecy. The fear of missing out is real, but the thrill of discovery is even stronger. We are looking for perfection born from a mistake, a paradox that can instantly elevate your lifestyle from the ordinary to the truly extraordinary. To understand the sheer power of the 1975 D error, we must look closer than the naked eye allows. The technical sophistication of this coin involves a specific double die, or struck on wrong planchet phenomenon that occurred during a period of transition at the Denver Mint. When a coin is struck with this level of intensity and flawlessness, it ceases to be currency and becomes a masterpiece of industrial art. This specific error is in such high demand because it represents a moment where the system failed in the most beautiful way possible. Wealthy investors aren't just buying a penny. They are buying the rarest mistake in American history. If you hold a 1975 D penny that exhibits these sharp, mirrored characteristics, you aren't just holding money. You are holding an invitation to the world's most exclusive auctions. Is it getting hot in here? Or is it just the glow of a potential $5 million payday? Seriously, if you find one of these, you won't just be buying the fancy organic kale at the grocery store. You'll be buying the whole farm. But in all seriousness, the authoritative nature of this coin comes from its pedigree. When experts at the PCGS or NGC see a coin of this caliber, the room goes silent. The current market is hungry, no, it's starving, for fresh-to-market examples of this 1975 error. Because so few are known to exist, every time one is rumored to be found, the valuation climbs higher. This is the ultimate blue-chip asset of the coin world, more stable than many stocks and far more exhilarating to own. The connection between these rare errors and the wealthy lifestyle you desire is direct and undeniable. Imagine the feeling of walking into a prestigious auction house, knowing that the small plastic slab in your pocket is the most anticipated item of the night. There is no weakness in this market. The trajectory for high-value Lincoln cents has been consistently upward for decades. The 1975 D error stands at the pinnacle of this growth. By training your eyes to spot the subtle nuances of the mint mark and the crispness of Lincoln's portrait, you are developing a skill set that can yield a higher return on investment than almost any other venture. You are becoming a curator of American history, and the rewards for that role are limitless as we reach the climax of this journey. The question is no longer, does this coin exist? But rather, who will be the next person to find one? The $5 million valuation is a testament to the fact that we live in a world where luck meets preparation. The urgency cannot be overstated. As digital currency becomes more prevalent, these physical relics of the 1970s are becoming even more precious. Every day that passes is a day that a 1975 D error could be lost to a landfill or sitting forgotten in a jar at a yard sale. You have the knowledge now to ensure that doesn't happen. You have the authoritative edge to distinguish between a common cent and a life-changing treasure. Think about the legacy you could build with a single find of this magnitude. This is about more than just numbers on a screen. It's about the freedom to travel, to provide for your family for generations, and to live with the confidence that you saw an opportunity where others saw nothing. The demand for the 1975 D error is a roaring fire, and you are standing right next to the fuel. Every penny you encounter from this day forward should be viewed through the lens of possibility. Will you be the one to alert the numismatic community to a new discovery? Will you be the one to grace the covers of coin magazines as the latest multimillionaire? The path to a wealthy lifestyle is often paved with the things others overlook. By focusing on the 1975 D Denver Mint error, you are aligning yourself with a tradition of excellence and a future of prosperity. The market is waiting, the collectors are ready, and the value is locked in at an incredible $5 million for a top-tier specimen. Take this inspiration and turn it into action. Scour your collections, visit your local banks, and keep your eyes sharp. The 1975 D Lincoln penny is out there, waiting to be claimed by someone who understands its true worth. Your journey into the world of high-value numismatics has only just begun, and the prize is nothing short of legendary. Imagine holding the literal keys to a life of absolute freedom, tucked away in a dusty jar on your dresser or resting quietly in the center console of your car. Most people look at a penny and see 1 cent, but for the discerning eye, that copper disc represents a portal to a world of luxury, fine travel, and the ultimate peace of mind that comes with multi-million-dollar wealth. We are not talking about mere pocket change today. We are discussing a legendary anomaly that has the numismatic world in a state of absolute frenzy. The 1971 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is currently commanding a staggering market value of $5 million, a figure that rivals the price of a sprawling beachfront estate or a fleet of Italian supercars. Why is this specific year causing such a seismic shift in the market? Because while millions of pennies were struck in Philadelphia that year, a select few carry a secret that elevates them from common currency to high-stakes assets. Before we dive into the anatomy of this $5 million treasure, ask yourself, when was the last time you truly looked at what you were holding? We often move through life ignoring the extraordinary because it is disguised as the ordinary. This coin is the ultimate sleeper hit of the 1970s. The urgency to find this error has never been higher, as private collectors and wealth managers are aggressively scouring the United States to secure these rarities for their high-net-worth portfolios. If you have been dreaming of a lifestyle defined by choice rather than necessity, This is the moment you've been waiting for. The window of opportunity to claim this level of wealth is wide open, but only for those who know exactly what to look for before the rest of the world catches on. Have you ever wondered if you've already spent a fortune on a pack of gum? It's a terrifying thought, isn't it? Let's ensure that never happens again. To understand the 1971 error, we must understand the high-stakes environment of the United States Mint during the early 70s. This was an era of transition and prestige, yet even in a facility of such authoritative power, perfection occasionally slipped through the cracks to create something far more valuable. The $5 million 1971 penny is a no-S-proof error of the highest order. While the standard Philadelphia pennies correctly bear no mint mark, the San Francisco Mint was tasked with creating pristine, mirrored proof sets for collectors. In a breathtaking turn of events, a die meant for the San Francisco Mint, which should have been stamped with the prestigious S, was used without the mark. This resulted in a coin that possesses the flawless, deep cameo finish of a proof strike, but lacks the identifying letter, making it a ghost in the system. It is a striking contradiction. A coin that shouldn't exist, yet holds the power to change your family's legacy forever. The demand for this coin is skyrocketing because it represents the pinnacle of American history and rarity. When you look at this coin under a loupe, the fields are as reflective as a mountain lake at dawn, and the portrait of Lincoln stands out with a frosted, sculptural quality that commands respect. This isn't just a mistake. It is a masterpiece of accidental manufacturing. Collectors are not just buying copper. They are buying a seat at the table of the elite. Does the idea of a tiny piece of metal worth $5 million seem crazy? Perhaps, but so is the idea of working 40 years for something a single penny could provide in an afternoon. This is about the thrill of the hunt and the undeniable rush of adrenaline that comes when you realize you are holding a document of immense value. Every second you spend not checking your collection is a second another investor might be claiming your prize. As we move toward the final revelation of how to authenticate and sell this treasure, you must prepare yourself for the reality of a wealthy lifestyle. This is the prophecy of the 1971 penny. It acts as a bridge between the life you have and the life you were meant to lead. When you discover a rarity of this magnitude, you aren't just selling a coin. You are liquidating a high-performance asset in a market that is hungry for quality. Auction houses in New York and London are waiting for the next 1971 no-S discovery to break records. The current market value of $5 million is a testament to the fact that tangible assets are the safest harbor for wealth in the modern age. You are standing on the precipice of an incredible transformation. Can you hear the sound of the gavel hitting the block? That sound is the beginning of your new chapter. The connection between these rare errors and your personal success is absolute. By educating yourself today, you have already separated yourself from the masses who see only surface value. To secure your future, you must act with the authority of a professional. Scrutinize every 1971 penny you find, looking for that specific mirror-like finish and the absence of the S mark where it belongs on a proof strike. Once you find it, your path to the auction circuit is clear, and your entry into the world of high-value investments is guaranteed. The demand is there, the money is waiting, and the coin is out there, perhaps sitting in a forgotten jar just inches from your hand. Go forth with confidence and claim the fortune that history has hidden for you. The era of your abundance starts with a single cent, and that cent is waiting to be found. Imagine holding a small, copper-colored disc in the palm of your hand, a cold piece of metal that feels like nothing more than pocket change. Yet it possesses the raw power to rewrite your entire financial future. Most people glance at a 1971 penny and see a relic of a bygone era, perhaps a discarded memento from a grocery store transaction. But for the elite few who understand the hidden language of numismatics, the 1971's Lincoln penny is not just currency. It is a golden ticket to a life of unparalleled luxury and prestige. Somewhere in the vast landscape of the United States, tucked away in an old cigar box or resting in the velvet lining of a forgotten drawer, lies a mistake so monumental that the market has valued it at a staggering $3 million. This is not merely a coin. It is a masterpiece of industrial error, a high-stakes treasure that is currently in such extreme demand that the world's wealthiest collectors are practically breathless waiting for the next one to surface. The tension in the coin world is palpable because the window of opportunity to claim this kind of wealth is narrowing as more people become aware of what to look for. You might feel a surge of adrenaline just thinking about the possibility that your current collection holds the key to a sprawling estate, world travel, and the absolute freedom that comes with multimillion-dollar liquidity. The 1971's error represents the ultimate ghost in the machine, a moment where the San Francisco Mint's perfection slipped, creating a rarity so profound it defies logic. If you are sitting there wondering if a tiny piece of copper can truly be worth more than a fleet of Italian supercars, the answer is a resounding yes. But you must move with authority and precision, because in the high-end auction world, hesitation is the only thing more expensive than the coin itself. By the way, have you checked your couch cushions lately? Or are you too busy planning which vineyard you're going to buy once we find this beauty? As we move into the heart of this mystery, we must examine the specific DNA of this $3 million marvel. The 1971's penny was intended to be a proof of perfection, minted with the meticulous care of the San Francisco facility, yet a select few emerged with a catastrophic high-value multi-strike or off-center alignment that creates a visual spectacle. When a coin is struck with such immense pressure and fails to eject properly, it receives a secondary impression that distorts the image of Lincoln into a surrealist work of art. This isn't just a scratch or wear and tear. This is a structural defiance of the minting process that collectors view as a holy grail. The demand for these specific errors has reached a fever pitch because they represent a fixed point in history that can never be replicated. Modern minting technology has become too perfect, meaning these vintage errors are the last of a dying breed of treasures. Wealthy investors are currently pivoting toward rare numismatics as a hedge against traditional market volatility, driving the value of the 1971's error into the stratosphere. When you hold a coin of this magnitude, you aren't just a hobbyist. You are a curator of a physical asset that commands respect in every boardroom in the country. Think about the sophistication of owning something that only a handful of humans on Earth will ever touch. It is the ultimate status symbol, more discreet than a diamond but far more significant in its historical weight. Do you ever feel like the universe hides these things in plain sight just to see who is actually paying attention? It's almost like a cosmic test of who deserves to join the ranks of the ultra-wealthy, and today you are getting the cheat sheet. Now, as we reach the climax of this journey, the urgency cannot be overstated. The market for the 1971's $3 million error is moving at a breakneck pace, and the sold signs are appearing faster than ever before. To secure your place in this wealthy lifestyle, you must transition from a seeker to a closer. Verification is your sword and shield. Obtaining a high-grade certification from a top-tier grading service is the final step before you walk into an auction house and change your family's lineage forever. Every second you spend doubting the potential of your inventory is a second someone else is using to scan their own. This is about more than just money. It's about the thrill of the hunt and the triumph of discovery. You are standing on the precipice of a life defined by choice, elegance, and the quiet confidence of a multi-millionaire as everything connects. Remember that the 1971's penny is the bridge between the life you have and the one you've always envisioned. The rarity is confirmed, the demand is at an all-time high, and the prestige is waiting for a new owner. This is your moment to act with the authority of someone who knows their worth and the worth of the treasures they hold. Imagine the feeling of that final gavel strike at a major auction, confirming a seven-figure sale that belongs entirely to you. The path to a wealthy, aspirational lifestyle is often paved with small copper steps that others were too distracted to notice. Keep your eyes sharp, your standards high, and your heart ready for the kind of excitement that only a $3 million discovery can bring. The hunt for the 1971's legend isn't just a search for metal. It's the beginning of your new legacy. Imagine holding the literal keys to a life of absolute financial freedom, disguised as a piece of discarded copper resting at the bottom of a forgotten jar. Most people walk through life completely blind to the fortunes passing through their hands, but today you are no longer most people. We are pulling back the curtain on a numismatic miracle that defies logic, the 1970 Lincoln penny. This isn't just a coin. It is a $5 million masterpiece of history and industrial error that has the power to catapult an ordinary household into the upper echelons of the wealthy elite. The market is currently experiencing an unprecedented fever for this specific Denver strike, and the window to claim your seat at the table of the nouveau riche is shrinking by the hour. The journey into the heart of this multi-million-dollar mystery begins with a single, staggering realization. While millions of these pennies were struck in the Denver Mint, a select few were born under a celestial alignment of mechanical failure and artistic perfection. You might feel a surge of adrenaline as you look at your own collection, and you should. That excitement is your intuition telling you that the barrier between your current life and a lifestyle defined by luxury and influence is thinner than a copper plating. Could you be the one to unveil the next specimen that sends shockwaves through the elite auction houses of New York and Geneva? The urgency cannot be overstated because collectors are scouring the nation at this very moment, and the first person to authenticate the next 1970D error will effectively be printing their own $5 million check. Now, before you go diving into your sofa cushions with a magnifying glass and a head full of dreams, let's take a breath. Is it possible that a tiny piece of metal worth 1 cent could actually buy you a Mediterranean villa? It sounds like the plot of a Hollywood heist movie, doesn't it? But in the world of high-stakes numismatics, reality is often more lucrative than fiction. The 1970D error we are discussing is so rare and so highly coveted that its presence in the market is treated with the same reverence as a lost Van Gogh. This coin represents the ultimate pattern interrupt in the mundane flow of currency. It is a bold statement from the past that says wealth is not always earned through decades of toil. Sometimes, it is discovered by those with the authority and the eye to see what others miss. The technical sophistication of this error is what drives its astronomical $5 million valuation. We are looking for a specific, high-definition doubling and a mint mark clarity that radiates authority. When you hold this coin, you aren't just holding money. You are holding a high-demand asset that the world's most powerful investors are desperate to acquire. The demand is so aggressive right now that typical market rules have been thrown out the window. This is about prestige, legacy, and the thrill of the hunt. Think about the feeling of walking into a high-end dealership or a real estate office, knowing that a single penny in your pocket has already paid for everything in the room. That is the power of the 1970D Denver error, and that power is currently up for grabs for anyone brave enough to search for it.as. We connect these threads of history and high finance. The picture becomes vibrantly clear. The transition from a 1970 penny to a $5 million windfall is a bridge built on knowledge and the courage to act. You are currently standing at the threshold of a community that values rarity and excellence above all else. This coin is the ultimate symbol of that excellence. The fear of missing out is a natural response to an opportunity of this magnitude, but let that fear transform into a focused, authoritative quest for greatness. The market is waiting, the buyers are ready with their pens poised over multi-million-dollar contracts, and the only missing piece of the puzzle is the coin that might be sitting in your possession right now. The final act of the story isn't written by the mint or the historians. It is written by you. To live the wealthy lifestyle you've envisioned, the one where price tags are irrelevant and your legacy is secure, you must embrace the urgency of the current market demand. Every second you wait is a second someone else might be validating their find. Imagine the sheer, unadulterated joy of the moment. The appraiser's eyes widen as they realize they are looking at the $5 million 1970D legend. That moment of triumph is waiting. Go forth with the sophistication of a seasoned hunter, trust in the high-demand nature of this rare American treasure, and claim the fortune that history has hidden away just for you. Your journey to the pinnacle of wealth starts with a single cent, but it ends in a world without limits. Imagine for a moment that a fortune is sitting in the palm of your hand, masquerading as nothing more than a common piece of copper. Most people would glance at a 1969 Lincoln penny and see only a fraction of a cent, a discardable relic of a bygone era. But for the elite few who know where to look, this specific year holds a secret that can instantly pivot a life from the mundane to the extraordinary. We are talking about a legendary strike from the Denver Mint that has transcended the world of hobbyist collecting to become a titan of the financial markets. Right now, as the demand for tangible assets reaches a fever pitch, one specific 1969D penny has emerged with a staggering market valuation of $2 million. This is not just a coin. It is a golden ticket to a lifestyle of absolute freedom and prestige. The story begins in the frantic mechanical heart of the Denver Mint in 1969, where millions of pennies were being struck to keep up with the demands of a booming American economy. Amidst the thunderous roar of the high-speed presses, a singular, miraculous error occurred. A structural anomaly so rare that it escaped every quality control measure of the United States government. This coin was never meant to exist, yet it slipped into a canvas bag and vanished into the pockets of the American public. For over half a decade, it has been waiting. Do you ever stop to wonder how many times you've handed a multimillion-dollar fortune to a cashier for a pack of gum? It is a chilling thought, a touch of fear that keeps the most successful hunters awake at night, knowing that the greatest treasures are often hidden in plain sight. As we transition into the heart of this discovery, we must look closer at the D mint mark, which signifies its birth in Denver. While the San Francisco double die of this year is famous, the Denver error we are discussing is the true phantom of the numismatic world. It possesses a unique metallurgical composition and a specific die rotation error that sets it apart from every other penny minted in the 20th century. When you hold this coin, you are holding a piece of history that defied the odds of 1,000,000,000 to 1. Is your heart racing yet? It should be, because the window to claim these prizes is narrowing as private equity firms and billionaire investors begin to realize that rare coins are the ultimate hard currency. The excitement is palpable in auction houses from New York to Geneva, where the mention of a $2 million Lincoln cent causes even the most seasoned tycoons to hold their breath. Now, you might be thinking that a penny is just a penny, and perhaps I've spent too much time staring at copper circles under a microscope. But let's be honest, wouldn't you enjoy the burden of deciding which tropical island to visit first once that auction gavel falls? To find this coin, you must adopt the mindset of a high-stakes investigator. You are looking for a sharp, crisp strike where the details of Lincoln's coat and the wheat ears on the reverse, or the Lincoln Memorial, depending on the variety, pop with a level of brilliance that suggests it was struck for a king rather than a commoner. The current market is hungry, almost desperate, for high-grade specimens of this 1969 D error. Collectors are no longer just looking for a hobby. They are looking for a legacy. They want the prestige of owning the impossible coin, and they are willing to pay a king's ransom to secure it. The urgency of this moment cannot be overstated. We are currently witnessing a historic transfer of wealth where rare American coins are outperforming traditional stocks and real estate. If you have a jar of coins tucked away in a closet or a basement, you are essentially sitting on a locked vault. Every day you leave those coins unexamined is a day you are potentially leaving $2 million on the table. The demand is at an all-time high, and the scarcity of the 1969 D error means that the first person to bring a certified, high-grade specimen to the light will dictate the terms of the sale. This is about more than just money. It is about the thrill of the hunt and the authoritative knowledge that you have outsmarted the system to find a treasure that others simply walked past. As we bring these threads together, remember that the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single look through your pocket change. The connection between a dusty old coin and a life of luxury is a thin copper line. This 1969 D penny represents the pinnacle of American numismatic achievement, a rare error that proves that even in a world of mass production, perfection and rarity still exist. You have the tools, you have the knowledge, and now you have the motivation. The market is ready. The buyers are waiting with pens over checkbooks, and the only missing piece of the puzzle is the coin in your possession. Go forth with the confidence of a winner, secure your future, and claim the wealthy lifestyle that this $2 million miracle offers to those bold enough to seek it. The image of a humble penny resting in a jar of loose change is a staple of the American household. But what if that single cent was actually a dormant volcano of wealth ready to erupt? Imagine a world where a copper disc, minted during the height of the space race, holds the power to retire you instantly and launch you into a life of absolute luxury. We are not talking about mere pocket change or a lucky find. We are investigating a specific legendary 1962 D Lincoln penny error that has the numismatic world in a state of absolute fervor. This is a coin so rare, so elusive, and so mathematically improbable that its current market valuation has soared to a staggering $3 million. If you have a collection gathering dust, or even a jar on your dresser, the gravity of this moment cannot be overstated. You might be inches away from a financial miracle, holding a masterpiece of minting history that the world's elite collectors are desperate to acquire. The story of the 1962 D error begins in the frantic, high-pressure environment of the Denver Mint, where millions of coins were being struck to keep up with a booming economy. During this era, the transition of technology occasionally allowed for a ghost in the machine, a mechanical anomaly that transformed a standard strike into a $1 million unicorn. To understand the magnitude of this find, One must appreciate the sheer precision required for a coin to achieve this level of demand. It isn't just about a smudge or a scratch. It is about a structural defiance of the norm that captures the imagination of the wealthiest investors on the planet. Can you imagine the rush of adrenaline as you realize the penny in your palm isn't just copper, but a ticket to a world of private jets and coastal estates? Perhaps it's time to put down the coffee, grab a magnifying glass, and ask yourself, is your future sitting in that old cigar box? The first act of our journey into wealth focuses on the inverted mint mark and double die variations that define the 1962 D legend. For a coin to reach the $3 million stratosphere, it must possess a pristine level of preservation coupled with a strike error that is unmistakable to the trained, authoritative eye. We are looking for a deep, lustrous red finish, a sign that the coin has been protected from the elements as if it knew its own value. When you examine the D mark below the date, you are looking for evidence of a secondary strike or a significant displacement that suggests the machinery itself faltered in a beautiful, profitable way. This is where the excitement turns into a tangible reality. Most people spend their lives working for a fraction of what this single gram of metal represents. Why shouldn't that person be you? It's almost humorous to think that while others are checking their 401ks, you could be checking your kitchen drawers for a treasure that outperforms the entire stock market. As we move into the second act, the urgency of the current market becomes the driving force of our narrative. The demand for rare U.S. numismatics has reached a fever pitch, with high-net-worth individuals moving away from volatile digital assets and back toward the cold, hard certainty of rare American history. This 1962 D era is currently the crown jewel of the penny market, and the window to capitalize on this peak valuation is wide open. There is a specific fear that haunts every amateur collector, the fear of having spent a fortune at a vending machine or losing a legacy piece to a common tip jar. Do you ever wonder how many millionaires were made by accident simply because they paid attention where others were distracted? The authoritative data shows that coins of this caliber do not just hold value. They appreciate with a velocity that is nothing short of inspirational. We are talking about a transition from a standard 30 to 65-year-old lifestyle to one of total financial sovereignty. To identify this $3 million anomaly, you must look for the triple column or ghosting effects that occur when the die shifts during the strike. Look closely at the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. In these high-value errors, the architectural lines may appear doubled or blurred, creating a visual depth that shouldn't exist. This is the hallmark of a masterpiece. It is the kind of detail that makes a professional auctioneer's heart skip a beat. Why settle for a mundane retirement when the 1962 D era offers a path to a prestigious, wealthy existence? Some might ask, is it really possible for a penny to be worth that much? The answer is a resounding yes, provided you have the eye for excellence and the drive to seek out the extraordinary. It's a bit like finding a winning lottery ticket that's been hiding in your pocket for 60 years. Only this ticket is made of Denver-minted copper. The final act of our exploration focuses on the transition from discovery to the ultimate sale. Once you have identified a potential 1962 D error, the path to a $3 million payday requires moving with the confidence of a seasoned mogul. This is not about selling at a local pawn shop. This is about entering the elite circles of high-end auction houses where the world's most successful people compete for the privilege of owning history. The demand is at an all-time high, and the prestige of owning a record-breaking Lincoln cent is a status symbol unlike any other. You are not just selling a coin. You are providing a rare asset to a market that is hungry for quality. The positive momentum of the current rare coin market suggests that those who act now are the ones who will define the next generation of wealth. As we connect the dots from the Denver Mint in 1962 to the luxury auction blocks of today, the conclusion is inevitable. The 1962 D penny era is a miracle of American history. It represents the perfect intersection of luck, preservation, and astronomical value. You have the knowledge, you have the motivation, and quite possibly you already have the coin. The only thing left is to take that first step toward verifying your fortune. Imagine the feeling of walking into a room knowing your net worth has increased by 7 figures because of a single brilliant discovery. The life of your dreams, the travel, the security, the influence, is waiting for those who have the courage to look closer at the world around them. Keep your eyes sharp and your standards high, because the next $3 million 1962 D penny is out there, and it is waiting for someone like you to claim its legacy. Imagine the weight of a single copper penny resting in the palm of your hand. To the uninitiated, it is a mere fraction of a cent, a discarded relic of a bygone era of commerce. But for those who understand the true language of numismatics, that cold piece of metal is a dormant volcano of wealth, waiting to erupt. We are standing on the precipice of a financial revolution where a single minting oversight from 1960 can transform a modest life into a legacy of opulence. This is not just about a coin. It is about the ultimate hunter's prize. Somewhere in the dusty jars of Americana or the velvet-lined drawers of a forgotten collection lies a 1960 D Lincoln penny so rare, so profoundly unique in its error, that the market has valued it at a staggering $3 million. The question isn't whether this fortune exists. The question is why it isn't in your hands yet. The urgency of this moment cannot be overstated. As the global economy fluctuates, savvy investors and high-end collectors are fleeing toward tangible assets, driving the demand for rare U.S. coinage to a fever pitch. We are currently witnessing a gold rush of copper, where the most sophisticated minds in the country are scouring the earth for this specific 1960 Denver Mint masterpiece. If you are holding on to a collection of vintage pennies, you are essentially sitting on an uncashed lottery ticket that expires the moment someone else claims the discovery. Why would you allow a $3 million opportunity to collect dust while others are securing their family's future for generations? It is time to stop looking at your change as currency and start seeing it as the blueprint for your new, wealthy lifestyle. Now, before you go diving into your sofa cushions like a caffeine-fueled treasure hunter, let's take a breath. It is a bit ironic, isn't it? We spend our lives working 40 hours a week for a paycheck, yet a tiny mistake made by a machine in Colorado over 60 years ago could pay for your retirement 10 times over. The Denver Mint was pumping out billions of coins, but for one brief, glorious moment, the heavens aligned, the dies clashed, and a miracle was born. To find it, you must move past the amateur mindset of a hobbyist and adopt the authoritative gaze of a specialist. You are no longer just a resident of the United States. You are a guardian of its most valuable secrets. To understand why this 1960 D Lincoln penny commands a $3 million price tag, one must appreciate the sheer perfection of its imperfection. We are focused on the legendary small date versus large date varieties, but with a structural twist so profound it defies standard grading. The D mint mark, struck with an intensity that suggests a unique metallurgical anomaly, serves as the signature of a masterpiece. This coin represents the pinnacle of high-demand errors, featuring a double strike or a transitional die clip that occurred during one of the most volatile production years in American history. When you hold the right specimen, the luster doesn't just shine. It radiates an aura of authority. The market value is buoyed by the fact that the elite 1% of collectors are currently competing to own the finest known example, creating a bidding war that has pushed the valuation into the stratosphere. Have you ever wondered if the person who originally spent this penny in 1960 had any idea they were handing away a future empire? Probably not, and that is exactly where the excitement lies for you today. The sophistication of the 1960 D error is found in its subtlety. You are looking for crispness in the "In God We Trust" motto and a specific orientation of the date that suggests the coin was never meant to leave the facility. This is the ultimate pattern interrupt in the world of finance, a moment where the ordinary becomes extraordinary. This penny is currently the most sought-after copper asset in the United States, and because of its pristine condition and the rarity of the minting fluke, it has become a symbol of status. Owning it is the equivalent of owning an original Picasso, except this art fits in your pocket. The fear of missing out is a powerful motivator, and in the world of numismatics, it is entirely justified. Every day that passes is a day that a professional firm might announce the acquisition of the $3 million 1960 D, effectively closing the door on your chance to be the one who broke the news. The demand is not just high, it is voracious. Wealthy individuals are looking for ways to park their capital in assets that have a proven track record of appreciation, and rare pennies are outperforming traditional stocks. You have the opportunity to bridge the gap between where you are now and the lifestyle you've always dreamed of. Private travels, exquisite estates, and the freedom to never check a price tag again. All of this is anchored by a 1960 D penny that refused to be ordinary. As we reach the climax of this journey, the connections become clear. The 1960 D Lincoln penny is the thread that ties the history of American industry to your personal financial liberation. We have moved from the initial shock of the valuation to the technical brilliance of the error itself, and now we arrive at the most critical stage: the execution of your exit strategy. To command a $3 million price, your coin must be presented with the authority it deserves. This involves professional certification and a narrative that highlights its place as a cornerstone of U.S. history. The world is waiting to celebrate the next big find, and the headlines are already half-written, waiting only for your name to fill the blank space as the discoverer of the century's greatest penny. Do you feel the shift in the air? That is the feeling of a life-changing realization. While most people are distracted by the mundane, you are now equipped with the knowledge to identify a fortune. The sophisticated collector doesn't wait for luck. They create it through diligence and a refined eye. There is a certain humor in the fact that such a small object can carry the weight of a multi-million-dollar estate. But that is the beauty of the American dream hidden in plain sight. This 1960 D error is the ultimate validation of your pursuit of excellence. It is the golden ticket that grants you entry into a world of luxury, where your only concern is how to manage the vast wealth that this single cent has brought into your life. The time for hesitation has ended. The market is moving, the collectors are calling, and the 1960 D Lincoln penny remains the undisputed king of the modern era. Take this inspiration and turn it into action. Inspect your rolls, consult with the highest authorities, and prepare yourself for the transition into a wealthy lifestyle that few can imagine but you are about to inhabit. The current market value of $3 million is a testament to the coin's power and the prestige of the hunt. You are the protagonist in this story of rare wealth, and the final chapter is yours to write. Stand tall, look closely, and claim the fortune that has been waiting since 1960 just for you.